What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Game Over Gerkinman. I am Gerkinman, this is Ocarina of Time, and today, oh boy, today we're going to be doing the first half of Dodongo's Cavern here, so, you know, this is as good a time as any to get into it and make our way inside, shall we? Yeah, how's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Once again, it's pretty warm, so the windows are open, and I would also actually like to apologize because yesterday, while I was recording, I left the fan on through the recording. I forgot to turn it off, and I didn't realize until afterwards. I haven't edited the video, so I don't know if it sounded terrible or not, but it's something that happened, and I would just like to sincerely apologize for that, because it's not fair on you guys that you guys get the lesser audio quality that you would get with the fan going. Well, that's my story, so yeah, here we are, Dodongo's Cavern. I don't mind this place, actually. I think oh god, you serious? I'm just about to get started, and yes, there are lava pits. Watch your step. Sounds like good advice. Thanks, fairy lady. I don't think even, like, babies need to know that walking on lava is a bad idea. Anyone who's ever played a video game before, or has been to Hawaii, knows that walking on lava is probably not a particularly great plan. So I do like the way this dungeon plays out. I like the way it's all about using the bomb plants to, like, solve puzzles. And then once the game's tired of getting you to use bomb plants, you get your own bombs to use. I think that's great. Thumbs up. Good escalation. And I just love having this, no, that's not what I wanted to press. Why would I want to use that? I pressed up. Having this giant Dodongo head here I think is awesome. Awesome sauce. And, you know, killing these guys with bombs is always a really good time. Hello? I don't know, it's more fun in Wind Waker, but still, watching the head, like, bounce up in the air and then come crashing down, satisfying. Okay, there's just a Deku guy over here. That's all. Alright, let's make our way to the other side then, I suppose. I think that's pretty much it for... There's a door I have to open. Well, I'm sure the solution is on the other side of the room, because that would make sense. Because of video games. Actually, you're right. I am right. Why would I say you're right when I'm talking to myself? I'm right, it is on the other side, and I am a dumb. Jeez, the things that come out of my mouth sometimes. So how you all doing? I hope you're doing good. Sorry if my voice is a little raspy today. I've just had a couple of drinks, so my voice is a little off, which happens sometimes for some reason when I have a beer or two. I don't know what the deal is with that, but it's just something that happens. Anyway. Time to... Actually, something I didn't bring up in the Deku Palace, but I'll bring up here. The music. It's so, like... it's so creepy and eerie, and I really like the, the kind of, like, tone or mood that it kind of conveys. I don't know how I describe the music in this area other than, like, ambient, I guess, is about as close as you could, as close as you can get, but I don't know. It works really well regardless. I think that's something, like, Ocarina of Time's soundtrack gets a lot of praise, but personally I don't like it as much as, I don't care for it that much. I mean, I don't think it's bad by any means, but I definitely don't think it's as... It's not catchy. A lot of people bring up, like, catchy songs and things, and yeah, some of the songs you play with the Ocarina are pretty memorable and whatever else, but I think the soundtrack overall, aside from some standout tracks like Gerudo Valley, obviously, it's just not that interesting, and I don't think that was supposed to be. I think it was supposed to be more of an ambient background sort of dealio, but I don't know. People can argue that point with me, because I know this soundtrack has an absolute shitload of diehard fans. And I also don't want to say that they're wrong, because, you know, if you enjoy that sort of music, that's, you know, good for you, as they say. Here we go. So this is one of my favorite enemies in the game, just because it feels somewhat like a Hey, how about locking on? There you go, you did it. Actually, these fights are great because you just spam the B button, and sometimes they do a little thing. And eventually they hop away. You do enough damage. I said this is one of my... some of these guys are some of my favorite characters to fight in the game, but really, playing this now, it kind of feels a little, it's not that exciting, to be completely honest. It's not as exciting as I remember it being. There's no real tact here. Which, it's the second dungeon, so I guess that's fine. Whatever. Fighting lizards with swords will always be cool, no matter what. That's just the nature of things. Dark Souls comes close with its snake people, but they're not quite the same. But, you know, whatever, I suppose. So what's everyone up to today? Personally, I've had a very, very productive day. It is currently a Sunday, and I spent my morning... I drew a picture of Link to use on the thumbnail of this series, which you would have already seen for ages. I'm quite happy with how that came out. Tried some new techniques with it. Usually for shadowing on my vector art, at least, I usually just use a gradient, but on this particular occasion I also used a thicker, darker line near the gradient to kind of make it look a little bit easier to read. I think it worked well enough. I'm pretty happy with how it came out. I haven't drawn Adult Link as of yet. Since I haven't recorded any episodes of Adult Link, it didn't seem necessary. But I look forward to seeing how that one turns out. So I did that this morning, and what else happened today? Did my laundry. Did the. Oh, it's just you. Well, I don't need you. What else did I do? Did the dishes. After I'm done recording, I got a mop because I haven't mopped in a couple of weeks, and I got like timber flat floors, and they get a bit dusty. So, you know, it's good. It's a good idea to keep those nice and mopped. Hey buddy, just keep doing your thing, and I will do my thing. It's gonna explode. Yes! Yes! And what else? Oh, and I also managed to get like 2 scenes animated on Flatwoods, which, who knows, by the time this is out, I might even be finished animating the cutscenes for it, but I doubt it, but maybe. But so after I'm done recording this and doing the mopping, I'll probably finish off that. So that's the second last cutscene in the game that will almost finish, which is pretty exciting. And of course, all of this is in the context of the recording of this video, which at this point will have been like 6 weeks ago, probably. Probably, maybe, something along those lines. Close to it. You know, as a kid, I thought fighting these guys was pretty cool, keeping behind them and whatever, but doing this now, it's actually kind of dull. I don't know what they could have done to make it more interesting, but surely there was something. Yeah, you can explode now. Oh yeah, okay, so I gotta light all of the lanterns in here on fire. X? Yes. Trying to remember what buttons bring out my items and shit. Because I swapped the controls around, again, to try to make my life easier. Don't know if it has or not yet. I think it will be, long term, but I just got to adjust, I suppose. I gotta say, I think the game kind of overuses the old lighting the torches gimmick, maybe. They use it a lot in Majora's Mask as well. It's just one of those problem-solving things that they rely on very, very heavily. It's a little bit cooler later on when you get the fire arrows, or when you have to shoot an arrow through a flame in order to get it to do it. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. It probably is. But yeah, it is definitely a sort of puzzle I rely on a lot. Hello, I-Man. I love the look of those guys. I think they look awesome. The design of them. Great. Great stuff. Yeah, what's in here? Oh, my favorite room in the whole dungeon. Maybe even my favorite room in the whole game. There's satisfying, and then there's this. I remember the first time I played this game, like, for some reason, I'd always put it on either one side or the other, but I could never put it in a position where it would hit both at once. but it never stops being satisfying. You can hear that? That is the Wii U controller going nuts. It's kind of funny going back to a... I never had a rumble pack when I was a kid with my 64, but I can only assume, judging by the way the controller vibrates with this, that like the rumbles evolved a lot over the years. Like using the Xbox One controller, for example, since I have an Xbox One, I don't have a PS4. The way it rumbles is they have little rotary motors on one of these guys is alive. Or do I have to push it first? Oh, there we go. That's right, I gotta throw a bomb at him. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so the controller has individual, oh, that didn't work out. That's probably gonna blow up in my face. Come back here. Yeah, it has individual little motors in it in different parts of the controller, and so basically, you can have kind of like directional vibrations. So, say for example, when I'm playing Forza, which is something I play to relax sometimes, because cars are cool, and I don't care what anyone says. If I'm a little bit too close to the edge of the road, only the right side of the controller will vibrate, which is, you know, really satisfying. And I guess with the Nintendo 64, because I just had the rumble pack installed on the bottom, it just vibrated the whole controller. So going back to this, not having experienced that period of vibration technology and just feeling the whole thing vibrate at the same level, on and off, I don't know, it just feels kind of weird going back to it now. But, you know, kind of interesting as well. There's a big disparity in color between what's on my TV screen and what's on the Wii U controller. I've just noticed the Wii U controller's got a very red hue to it, but on the TV it's very green. Weird. Weird. Does anyone else remember those? I remember seeing them in the local Nintendo 64 magazine. If you're watching this in Australia, you might remember there was Hyper magazine and the official Nintendo magazine, which was kind of our version of Nintendo Power, I suppose. I don't know if it had the same content. I don't think much of it was. I think they had their own Australian writing stuff. But there was also Nintendo 64 Gamer, which was a magazine I used to buy quite frequently. That was by the same guys that did Hyper Magazine. And they always had ads for these vibration vests you could get. So you put on a vest, and I think it measured the sound levels, and it vibrated based on those. I never got to use one, but I always wanted one as a kid. I heard, like, in later years that from people who did have them, that they were kind of shithouse and didn't do a particularly good job, but, I don't know. I kind of always wanted to, give one a go. I'd still be curious if someone, like, was like, hey, you want to try out my Rumble vest from the 90s? I'd be like, oh, hell yeah, I've always wanted to try one of these things out. Of course I do. That opens the door. Is that really all I came in here for? Oh, it's a different door. That's right. I'm getting so confused. This place is so big. I like it though. It's a good area. And if you were using the Deku shield and that happens, you lose your shield. Which is fair enough, I say. Fire should burn wood. Thanks, video games. Okay, so I think, yeah, for this episode I'm going to play up till I get the bombs, which is actually coming up pretty soon, I think. I used to hate this room as a kid. It used to give me the willies, having these blades everywhere, not being able to see them. Now you explain these things so slowly. See, this is because we didn't have 2 sticks yet. We had Sony to wait for that, but it would have been nice to have a stick here so we could do that shit with the camera. Instead of using the Z button to constantly rotate the camera behind Link's back to be able to look around. Would have been real nice. But you can't have everything. Now I think I have to, it's been a little while since I've done this. I think I have to do a thing. Maybe? I don't remember. I know I gotta climb this, and there's like a thing I can jump to, and it has like a bomb flower on it. Because, yeah, there's a wall here. Oh yeah, that's it there. It's right in front of me. That makes life simpler. Thanks, video game. Thanks for being so convenient. And thanks for the delicious rupees. And thanks for the bomb. Getting your timing down on this. Now, I'll probably get it on the first try because normally I would say this is really hard. But, yep, there we go. As a kid, that was like... I remember spending... It felt like an eternity. It was probably more like 2 or 3 minutes, but god damn, it felt like a long time trying to master that. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, shoot that. See, even though the aiming controls for the slingshot are digital and feel really clunky, during regular game like this, like there was no pressure to hit that thing within a really short time limit, so it didn't have a negative impact on me, but in the minigame, that's where I have a problem with it. Oh, nice. More fighting. Hey buddy, how you doing? Yeah, that's right. I didn't realize they move so, like, slow. Ah, take that. I also hate the fact that if you hit them after an attack animation sort of thing, they become invincible on their end, which doesn't make sense to me. You should be able to just, like, massacre these guys, but for some reason there's an arbitrary waiting period, like, oh, like when they're jumping over you, you can hit them with a sword and the blue blood comes out, but it doesn't hurt them, which frustrates me. Like, a little bit of internal consistency would have been nice. Yeah, there you go. Pull out your sword with your little spin there. Come on. Hurry up. With these super slow-ass swings. Music makes it sound so much more dramatic than it actually is. Ah, well, they tried. Coming? You're gonna... There you go. You did it. You pulled out your sword. Majora's Mask has these secondary kinds of lizards with, like, really big heads. And I think they look... Actually, they might be at the end of this game, too, actually, now I think about it. They look much better than these guys anyway. These guys have a pretty complex character model, I will say. There's a lot of details going on in the actual number of polygons they have for a Nintendo 64 game, for an enemy. But, the ones later in the games have, like, much more defined faces, and I much prefer them. And I do like the fact that this arena is actually on top of the previous one. I think that's actually kind of cool. With, like, this lava pouring over the edge. I think that's, like, a really cool touch with the smoke effect, which is exactly the same as the mist in the Deku tree. Adorable. Absolutely adorable. Alright, so I think that counted as the mini-boss, so I think in the next room, that's where I find my bombs. This is a nice little challenge room where it's like, oh hey, don't just hit that one. But... come over here, my friend. And hit this guy too, which I don't think you can Z-target those things, which would have been nice, considering how touchy and finicky the stick controls can be, but I guess it's not really that close of a time frame it asks you to do it in, so it's not that big of a deal, I guess. Alright, come on, what's in here? I think it's bombs. $10 says it's bombs. I already know it's the bombs. Bombs, bombs, bombs. Oh yeah, bomb bag. Thank you for 20 bombs. Yep, just let me... Oh sweet, that wasn't so bad. Alright, so now that we have bombs, that's going to be it for this episode. Next episode, we're going to finish off this dungeon. We're going to beat the King Dodongo, and then we're going to fly back down to Kakariko. But not before visiting the Great Fairy, who's going to horrify us with her haunting face. So I'll hope you join me for that. Hope you're enjoying the series. Let me know in the comments below. Once again, sorry for my voice and sorry for the sound quality yesterday with the fan going. That was my mistake, but it was really fucking hot, let me tell you. So, thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time. Peace out. Have a good one.